Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about something I am super excited to talk about, and that is prayer. I've been doing these 8 things since January 1st, and it is now almost the end of May, and it has really improved my prayer life. I mean, it's not perfect, but it has genuinely improved, and hopefully you guys will start praying. And I'm just super happy that y'all even want to improve your prayer life. Like, honestly, like, high five, give you a hug, like, I don't even know what I'm saying. So number 1, set out a time of your day to pray. And you want to do this, hopefully, every day. Have you ever had that person that you are not really sure if you're friends with them anymore because you don't really talk to them, and you're like, well, we don't talk. Are we cool? So we really want to talk to God and call upon Him, and just like, I like the word call because it just reminds me of like being on the phone. I don't know why I'm pretending to be on the phone when I actually have a phone. We want to talk to God because it's the relationship that we want to have with God. A lot of people will do it like in the morning or the night, but it just helps to have a set time that you are going to pray, and then you make it a habit. You know, sometimes you don't want to start your day off super anxious and thinking about all the things you need to get done and what's going to be crazy. And so instead of being anxious, you just start your morning off and telling God about everything that you're anxious about. So I definitely recommend in the morning. I used to do it at night, but I didn't like the night so much because I would just get so sleepy and I would just want to sleep instead of pray. Number 2 is talk to God in your own way. If you're a writer, you can write. If you're a singer, like, write a song or play the guitar and like just make up words like what you're feeling. And talking to God like a friend has really helped me, because again, it's a relationship that you have with God, and so just talk to Him normal. He doesn't have to be like crazy. I mean, it can be if you want, that's cool too, but if it's not going to help you pray, then I definitely recommend just praying to God as you pray to God. I mean, even in the Psalms, David would write songs, and I'm not just David, but other people too, but they would write songs, and that's how they talked to God, and it was like a prayer to God. So 2 is talk to God in your own way. Number 3, write down specific things to pray about. Honestly, this is really helpful because it helps you remember prayer requests. You know how sometimes you say like, oh, I'll pray for you, but then you just totally forget. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I know that's really, it sounds terrible, but it happens, you know? And so writing down prayer requests is really helpful, and it helps you always remember what you're gonna pray about, so you don't have to go into prayer being like, oh, I don't even know what I'm gonna pray about today. I'm just so overwhelmed. I think that this really gives you order in your prayer life. So I write down usually the person's name, or if it's just me, I just write down this area in my life that I'm needing prayer for. And so I'll write it down, and then every day I just go to it, and then I know what I'm gonna pray for that day. You can look back on the requests if you write them down, and you can see how God answered it. So definitely write your requests down. Number 4. This one's kind of optional, but I think it does improve your prayer life, and it's to write down scriptures along with certain prayer requests. So this really helps you to see what God's will is for the situation. And it's also a really great way to memorize scripture. For me, a specific issue that's going on in my life is envying people who are wealthy or people who are not Christians, mainly. That's mainly what my problem is and my issue is right now. So then I wrote down 2 scriptures that show me what God's will is, which is, if you want to know what God's will for you is, like, you can go to the Word. Again, it's optional, but if you want to improve your prayer life, I definitely recommend doing this. You don't have to do it for all of the prayer requests, but just certain issues that you know that there are scriptures of maybe. So number 5 is starting small. I know that a lot of this can be overwhelming for you. There's like a lot of information I'm just pouring out at you, but really maybe this should be number 1, but just start small. So if you don't have a lot of time and you're really busy, but you want to take time out of your schedule to do this, then take like 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour or 30 minutes. Start small and just improve on that. If you want to start big, you can, but I definitely recommend to start small just so you can gain momentum. Start with one thing that's really, really on your heart, that's really bothering you, or that you really need help with, or that maybe you just really want to thank God about. Start with that one thing and just work your way up. Do one thing, pray. Honestly, let's try this. Just have one thing, if you're a little overwhelmed, one thing that you're going to pray about for 1 week. Just every day at the same time or around the same time, you're going to pray about this one thing every single day. So just start with those small improvements. Number 6 is try to find a place where you can be alone and not bothered by people and distractions. Having a private place to pray will really help you be vulnerable with God and really share your heart more. Whereas if you're just praying in a public place, you might not be so feel so open to sharing with God a lot of the issues in your life because you don't want other people around you to know about them. So having that private place where it's just you and God, it really helps you to be vulnerable. So number 6 is find a place to pray that is preferably secluded and free from a lot of distractions. Number 7 is be specific with requests. That has helped improve my prayer life because it has helped me just get my heart out to God even more. And really, God knows everything that you're gonna ask and that you're gonna tell him about before you tell him. So it's not that crazy if you say something that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said this out loud. Don't be afraid to share it with God and bear it all, because that will just give you more vulnerability. It will give you a better connection with God, and it'll help you even feel maybe even a little bit more connected if you are specific. And number 8 is cast down negative thinking and those obstacles that are keeping you from starting a prayer life. Maybe you're just really lazy. You know, that's a big deterrent to prayer. And so search the scriptures about laziness. You know, read the scriptures. Tell God, maybe if you're angry at him or you feel shame, tell God, you know, I feel like I'm not good enough to go to you today. Or I feel like I'm just really angry because you let this thing happen in my life. Like, tell God everything. You don't have to hold back. You don't have to think that he's gonna be surprised or gonna cast down like a little thing of lightning because you said that you're angry or that you're ashamed or that you're really sad. This is how you're going to grow in your relationship with God, is if you're vulnerable, if you're honest, because God sees you and he knows right where you are. So start right where you are. If you're angry, if you're lazy, if you don't feel like he listens to you, just tell him about it. Talk to him about it. I hope that this helped you, and I hope that you continue to pray, and yeah, I'll be praying for you. I could put you on my prayer requests. I'll put the people of YouTube who watch my videos on my prayer requests. I'll literally put it. I'm not even joking. I'm gonna put this on. So if you guys have any prayer requests as well that you would like me to pray for you, then please write them down in the comments, and I will, honestly, I promise I will do this. I will add you to my prayer list and I will pray for you. So don't be afraid to be specific. Don't be afraid. I mean, if you probably don't want to be really specific in the comment section because it's really public. So go, write, and start a prayer. You know, this is like my little prayer journal. Start talking to God however you talk to him. And yeah, bye. See you later.